Well, hello and welcome back to day number 3 of our masterclass on how to create your $1 million course. I'm super stoked to have you back. My name, you will know by now, is Phil, and I'm super happy that you made it back to our live stream, or if you see this later, to the recording. Today is another very special day, and I would like to provide a little bit of a framework of what we have gone through over the last 2 days and what you can expect today. Because I think we've learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot, and I hope you were able to take away a lot as well. On day one, we had Patrick win, and I think he was very inspiring. I really liked his story, how he told like where he got started and what he built up over, I think, 5 years or so. And he really is a self-made man who built up this $1 million course business. And I love how he shared his thoughts on what's the best way for you to do it now as well. And then yesterday, of course, we had Ezra Firestone, and he's just a character. I love him, and I think he gave us some real feedback. Like a guy who has made over 150 million euros online, and a big chunk of that with his education, right? With the courses and the coaching and the mentoring that he provides. I found that super cool. And obviously, he's just a character, and I love speaking with him as a good friend. So that I think was a lot of fun. And most importantly, I believe he gave some very concrete tips on how you can build that education business, from how to build out your syllabus, and that it's actually not that hard to figure out how to structure your course, but then also how to co-create it, right? You sell it before you actually build it. And then a lot on marketing, of course, which is his cup of tea. Today, we have another fantastic speaker, and it's a little bit of the opposite of what Ezra represents, because Ezra is kind of like the well-known person who is like on stage, whereas Jan, who we will have today, is more of a man behind the scenes, which in many regards is a lot more important actually to you guys, because he's the guy who can show you how to build that business, right? And I think that's super cool. Before we go there, let me briefly, very briefly today, because I've done something similar yesterday, introduce you to this big opportunity that we have here, right? And then we'll dive right into it with Jan Vispo. So, one thing I want you to understand, and those who are new to this masterclass might not be aware of that. The others have heard that the last 2 days. I believe we're in the golden age of online education. Just as a reminder, anywhere is where you can learn today, right? Wherever you want to learn, you can do it nowadays, just because you have this thing here or something similar, right? You're doing an education program right now through the power of technology and the internet. You can learn almost anything from almost anyone, or at least a lot of people nowadays. So that's amazing. And it's an unbelievable growth market. So if somebody believes that online education is kind of like a saturated market, it's not true. It's just getting started. It's going to be a $1 trillion market within the next 5 years. It's absolutely crazy, right? So you're in the right place if you want to build something, and you're at the right time, which is always so important, right? A lot of people have great ideas, but it's not the right time. Either you're too late or you're too early. It's not great either, right? It's the right time right now to build an online business, 2022. Okay, my name is Phil. I guess you know me by now. I've worked in education for 20 years. I've been an online entrepreneur for 20 years. And I know a lot of cool people, and that's why we've built this mentorship program now, right? That we're launching tomorrow. It's called 1 million per year, and it's what we believe is the best mentoring program if you want to build an education business, right? It's really the world elite coming together to teach you, to mentor you, to be in a community with you and give you a helping hand, right? So this is what we're going to launch tomorrow. If you're interested in learning more about it, no matter if you then decide to sign up or not, we're going to have a special session tomorrow. You see here, I just made this screenshot yesterday. It's actually just 7 days that we have this available for you guys who are here with me today. And then we'll close it for a first pilot cohort. And this is probably the best cohort to be in, right? It's the best cohort because it's going to be a small cohort where you get a lot of attention from myself, from all our mentors, and we will personally work with you on launching and growing your course. So I'll give everything I have to make you successful, and just hope for you to join us in that program. But I'll share more about that tomorrow. So you'll see all of the mentors there. It's crazy people in there. Let me tell you, from New York Times selling bestsellers, like Christian Bush, who's a very good friend of mine. You obviously know Patrick. Brian Moore, and he founded Samcart. They process billions of dollars of course creators, so they know exactly what is working, what doesn't, and so forth. So a lot of great people like Jordan. Jordan here. You might have heard of Sam Ovens, right? He founded consulting.com. Jordan is a guy who ran all the traffic and did the marketing for Sam Ovens, right? So he will be your mentor, or Zach Benson here towards the right. He's one of the biggest guys on Instagram, right? So these are all great people who are going to join us. But today, we're going to have one of your mentors here who, again, will work with you on building this system, right? This business that you most certainly want to create if you launch a course. Because as discussed over the last 2 days, a lot of people, they are so focused on the content, which is important. Don't get me wrong. Content matters, right? But they don't think about the business side enough. So let me introduce to you Jan. He will share a little bit more about where he comes from and what he does, a little bit of his credentials, but you will surely see within the first minute that he knows what he's talking about. He's coming to us from Spain. You will hear by his accent, right? We're all non-native speakers here, but obviously that does not hold us back. It's the content, it's the expertise that matters. So without further ado, please welcome with me here in this live masterclass here today in our call, the fantastic Jan Vispo. So here you go. Hi Jan, how's it going?
Thank you for having me, Phil.
You have the same background. You have the same background that Patrick had 2 days ago, because you are actually on the sunny, fantastic island of Tenerife right now together, right?
Yeah, we're here on the masterclass, Patrick Bing's masterclass, mastermind, and we've been doing some presentation this morning, and now we're here to share some value.
Fantastic, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, you're missing a lot of other great stuff because you're with us. So I appreciate that. Thanks for coming here. And what do you say? Should we dive right into it? Let me just say, we have a couple more things that I wanted to remind people of, and
yeah,
I think that's important, right? So let me just share that screen with everybody again. It's a quick reminder to engage, right? You know that already. You know that slide if you have been here. It's because your brain just works better if you engage, right? So please engage, make use of this session. Don't just relax. Make this count here. Ask questions, right? That's why Jan is here, so he can answer to your questions. And of course, some homework. Not too many people did their homework yesterday, so maybe you enjoy today's homework a bit more. Jan will present it towards the end of his session. All right, that's it. I'm over and out. Jan, maybe you want to start your screen. I'll end mine,
yes.
And the floor is yours.
Let's go with it. Now, just let me know when you can watch it. Okay. So let's go on. Can you see my screen? Okay. The system to create a course and manage a business that allows you to get to the 1 million year goal. So that's what we're going to cover today. And my goal for today is that you have everything you need to set up a great performing business structure while being confident you won't be draining all your energy on the drive. To be able to successfully should skyrocket your business income to the 1 million year goal in a sustainable way, with the minimum viable resources you need to use nowadays. So now I want you to pay attention to these words: successfully, sustainable, and minimum viable resources. Why? Imagine your business as a chessboard. You are, of course, the king. And the problem is, if the king dies, it doesn't matter how many other pieces are left alive. So you have to forget about performing operational tasks and worrying about operational tasks, because that will make you lose focus on business opportunity. What you have to do is to become the king that your business needs today. Your task is not to add more work, more tasks, or more work. You have to multiply. Okay, So how to multiply? Leverage on other people's knowledge, as Phil said, lean on simple tools, and focus all your attention on your star area. So become your business CEO and unleash your creative skills. So how to unleash your creative skills? So simplify everything. That's the key. So who I am? Okay, who am I? I am Jan Vispo. My name is Jan Vispo. I'm the co-CEO of Proelia Digital. That's an online agency, digital agency. We advertise for infopreneurs and e-commerce in Spain and all over the world. And we have managed on our first year more than 3 million. I'm also the founder of Rumbo Eficiente, where I've taught more than 1,200 people on how to run Facebook and Instagram ads, overall infopreneurs, and I love personal productivity. That's why I'm a Trello leader of the Canary Island. And maybe you have seen me at the Outward this 2021, last 2021. So let's go on with the presentation. How to create and manage a business that allows you to do what you really love to do. See, there are no shortcuts to get to the worldwide places, but you can make your journey comfortable by relieving your burden, by simplifying your load. And that's what that we want to cover today. So, first of all, you have to define your avatar. Okay, this is a way that I define my avatar, the avatar of my online courses. Okay, I define a volume, volume that I can reach, and then I put one point that I will need a helping hand at support tasks. I define the stage that they can be as an online entrepreneurs, validating, consolidating their business, scaling their business, even the languages, and overall the mood of those people. Good vibes, by good vibration generator, not desperate for results today, understanding that this is a matter of learning, testing, and improving till you find your way. And those ones that respect me as an expert and let me advise them. Okay, so once you have defined your avatar, then you have to define your goals, your business goals, your info product goals. So set up your business goals. Okay, you want to get to the 1 million. Okay, 1 million goal, and maybe you have a price of 1,000 for your course. So you define then your funnel strategy, whatever you want to use, a webinar, a lead magnet, a VSL, but you have to define how many customers do you need each and every year, each and every quarter, each and every month? And then how many leads do you have to accomplish to get those clients? Okay? And those leads will lead you to the advertising investment that you want to put on the internet. Once you set up your goals, then you move to the responsibilities of or the areas that you will need to cover on your business. Maybe you will need to cover by your own, or maybe you will contract someone else. Okay, this is the structure or the responsibilities that you will need to cover. Maybe if you want to cover the content creator, of course you're going to be the content creator, then you're going to co-create your course, then we will cover it. Then you will need to do web design, email automation, advertising, copywriting, video editor. You have a limited time, so you have to do whatever your start area is. Okay, if you're a content creator, just do content creator and divide your resources to do some content creator. And maybe you need some other people to do the web design, the email automation, the ad manager, the copywriting, the rest of the responsibilities of your business. Then how to structure. Let's see how to structure your course. Okay, this is the way I structure my course. This is a process I cover to create a course. Okay, I first do my table of content of the course, determining my purpose. What do I want them to know? What do I want the people to know? For example, I teach people how to run Facebook and Instagram ads. Okay, but I need to cover another things, another areas. Okay, copywriting and landing pages creating, and creatives or whatever, email marketing, automation, etc. So I define my table of content. I determine my purpose. What do I want them to know? Okay, I visualize the results, how to do Facebook and Instagram ads, how to do copywriting, how to do some landing pages, the strategy, the overall strategy. I bring some brainstorming, organize it in the table of content, and review it and validate it. Once I have my table of content, I define it by modules, lessons, and those videos are inside of those lessons. But we're talking about co-creating a course. Of course, we're not doing all the whole course by our own. So we create the basics on our own, okay? And then we bring some other peoples to create the copywriting, for example, the landing pages, creating the email automation, and so on. So you leverage on other people's knowledge, so you can cover your all the business areas. So, talking about communicating channels, I recommend you to use one and only one official communicating channel, because maybe if you're working with email automation guy and web designer guy and copywriting guys, you talk from emails, you talk from WhatsApp or whatever. So bring just one channel. So you use Slack, for example, and for your team and for your client. Why? To simplify everything, to bring some tidiness, to bring some focus to your business. So the extra recommendation is to shut down those notifications, okay? And these are my communicating channels for my team: the team management channel, the marketing and sales channel, the training channels, the meeting channels where we talk about all the meetings that we have, the tech and design where we talk about landing pages, copywriting, email automation, and the copy shop where we relax, which is in every one of us. And then for our clients, for every course, we have a support channel, and then we have a news channel where we can share something and build some community. And why community is important for your info product? Because you have to build your happy community, because once your course support time is over, maybe the people feel like they are lost. They don't know how to go for how to go further. So if you set up a membership payment, if you set up a membership, then you can guide your clients or students to succeed. You can share success stories with your community and raise your customer lifetime value, so you have built a more sustainable business. Then, where to host your online courses? Please apply the KISS method. So I used Hotmart, maybe Patrick is using Kajabi, some of the people use LearnDash. Use that one that brings you simplicity, that brings you focus on your content creating. What we've seen today the reason why you should stop doing it all on your own, how to become your business CEO, the system to create your course, communicating strategies, and how to build a sustainable business. So now it's time for you. It's time to get the wheel rolling. We have to make the wheel roll at first point. So go ahead and set up your goal, please, and the areas that you need to cover right now to get to those goals. And welcome to your 1 million year life, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jan. That was wow. That was very very quick. So first of all, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I think it was amazing. And what I realized is that you have a lot of content in a very brief time. So I would like to take the first couple of minutes to dive into a couple of the subjects um, that you talked about, because I think they are worth diving into a lot. So the first thing I really like how you frame it as you, whoever is listening to this, right? If you're listening here, you should see yourself as the king or the queen, of course, the emperor of your business. And I like something that I forgot where I read that, but where was that? Yannick Silver, I think. Um, anyways, some friend of Tim Ferriss, and he wrote a little book. I have a lot of books here. I don't know if I've got to find it, but he says if you create your business, you really create your own universe, like your own bubble where you can almost do whatever the fuck you want. right? But this freedom comes with a lot of responsibility. You know that saying, right? So the responsibility that you have is that you don't kill yourself. And I
Yeah.
mean that. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, right? And Jan, Jan just walks you through that within like 10 minutes. And there is like stuff where I would need hours to go through just because I use so many words. He is a very direct person. But so let me grab that main idea that he had in the beginning. You being the king of your castle, the king of your empire, right? And that empire is your business. And so it's important to, of course, work on your business, not in your business. I just think that for a course creator who typically starts out like most businesses, but especially course creator, you start out like as one person, or maybe you're two or three people who are doing it, right? But you don't have a big budget, you don't have a big team typically. Some people have, right? But most likely you are in a situation where you cannot recruit 20 different people and just make them all work. So you have to find a system where you wear different hats, but one of that hat always has to be that you are the king, right?
That's
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the different responsibilities that course creators have within their own company, the different roles that people have, right? No matter if they then have to take care of those roles themselves or if they have somebody to help you. What are like the most typical realms of such a business?
yeah. The first one is you said the key. The key is to understand that you are the one that should be up there. Okay, that should be like the king or the queen, as you said, and think that you have to take care of your time, to take care of your mind, so you can create a great course for your students or your clients. Okay, so then you need to cover some of the things that it's mandatory to say that it's you have to cover the advertising, you have to cover the web designing, you have to cover the automation, the email automation, you have to cover the copy, and etc 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 etc. That, but you have a time, and not you are not limitless time. You think you have to think about that.
Yeah, those sleepless nights. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
we've been
It's
there. We've
crazy.
been there.
Oh, I've been there last night and the night before. So I would never say anybody that launching a course or doing something new is something where you just, uh, I don't know, chill on the beach and work for half an hour a day. That's just not reality, right? And I think that's something that people have to face as well. I think this whole hustle culture, and I had the opportunity to speak with Gary Vee and like dive into that, and he changed a lot how he communicates about that, because I think this is wrong, right? I think hustle culture is overrated, and we all have to take care of ourselves. But at the same time, of course, starting a business is work, right? And often you go into like different directions just to find out that this is not where you should actually be for whatever reason,
Yeah,
and it just takes a lot of a lot of energy to find the right path. Um, but even more important is it to have clarity on where you want to go and the different pillars that need to be in place. I think that's super important, right? So take a
yeah,
step back and understand the different parts of your business. I think that's super important. Okay, so you mentioned a couple of things that are important when launching a course, and something that you must not forget, right? One is that obviously the content, right, and the structure, and that you have to understand what in general should be within a course. You mentioned marketing, right? What other areas must people not forget about when they are building their own course or want to grow it? Where do you see that people are not spending enough time or attention?
that's a great way to besides marketing.
Yeah, besides marketing, yeah, I do believe marketing is one of the most important ones, right? Because if you don't have the attention of people and don't have customers, you don't have a business. That's the unfortunate truth. Um, but yeah, you can speak about more details about marketing or other things. And one thing that I would like to dive into is actually a team, because you also mentioned about the different channels and how you structure a team. And I feel that some
Yeah,
people might not be as experienced yet when it comes to
yeah,
managing a team, specifically when you're running a course that always has a lot of attention on you. So it's a bit different
yeah.
than many other
It's
businesses.
a lot of attention, a lot of message, a lot of communicating messages coming to you. So you have to be clear where to coordinate or where to find her to manage or your people or the people that's involved on in your team, where to communicate and where to put so the even to where to put the information or to place the information that you will manage with your team. And that's what I that's why I teach people to manage each and everything, to coordinate each and everything. That's what I use Trello, what I love Trello, where you can coordinate each and every point, each and every stage of your course when you're on the marketing area, for example, when you're building your course, when you're building your landing pages, when you're building your email automation, who's the guy that's responsible of that, what are the tasks that that guy needs to accomplish and whatever. So X.
I think that's true. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that really helped me is having that clarity about what really delivers the biggest impact. And I think Patrick's session was great on that. He had this chart, I think you know it, Jan, where he shows like low value tasks and high value tasks, right?
Yeah.
And apart from the fact that he showed his own mastermind as one of the biggest value activities, I found that very funny, but also true. It's where you are at right now, Jan. So um, I think that's something we all have to keep in mind. So the other thing that I mentioned 2 days ago was that some people just prefer some tasks over other tasks, right?
Yeah.
You have your strength and your weaknesses, and that's the other factor, the other level that I believe is important, right? So I'm just looking up a couple of the comments that we had here, right? And Seamus says that my juggle as a single person agency is fulfilling client work to maintain my cash flow. Yes. And
Cash
now
flow.
wanting to build a course. I'm a jack of all trades right now, but working hard to change that. How do I allocate the right amount of time in a day so I can? I can't read the rest. Let me look it up. Oh, can get the
Okay.
consistency I need. Um, I have way too much to say about that. You first, Jan.
Yes. That's important. That's important. We are occupied people. We don't have just one thing. We don't have just one course to do. We are consultants. We are coaches. We are um, agency, whatever. So that's a matter of priority, as you said. As you said, you establish your priorities. I've established mine at the start of the year. In well, really for real, I started in December to set up my priorities, to set up my goals for 2022, and then I just structured it for quarters, month, and each and every week of the year. I have a goal for each and every week of the year, and try to cover each and everything of my life. So personally, both personally and professionally. So you can get to the agency, your course, or whatever other business that you have, but you have to cover your personal things too. So we cover each and everything at the very first of the year, and we establish some quarter goals. The same for the course. It's the same for your life, your personal life, your professional life. You started with a yearly goal, a quarter goal, the month goal, and then the weekly and daily goals.
And this is how you should do it, and how people like me always fuck up, right? Because they're
Yeah.
incapable of doing that. But you're right, Jan. So if you want to do it the right way, do it Jan's way, right? If you're too stupid to do that, I have an alternative path for you. But actually, what Jan just said will be part of your homework. So I do recommend you do that, and I will definitely also do it, right? So we'll move to goals and how to structure that exactly as Jan just said as part of your homework. Now I'll give you the rebel way of doing it, or the stupid way of doing it, right? Because I tried it, I've tried it a lot, and I've tried like so many things. I read so much. I wish I have this fixed camera now. I would like to show you my wall of personal development and failure, right? It's like, is it hundreds? Well, it's dozens of books about personal development that did help me a lot. Some are about getting structure in your day and planning. And I'm just too creative, maybe, to have a very formalized work day. So what I do is I try to practice something that I would call energy management. So I have understood that at certain parts of the day, I have energy that goes towards, well, with some aspects, some parts of what I need to accomplish, and other times in the day where other parts can be handled in a better way, right? And then I try to do exactly one thing in there. And that's like one of the books that I can absolutely recommend. I'm just looking if I have it somewhere here. There is a book that's actually called The One Thing.
One thing.
And that's an absolutely great book. What I try to do is like I block all of my mornings and I only do one thing, ideally over 3 to 6 hours. Because if you only do that thing over like 6 hours, you get such a shitload of stuff done. Like I have my phone. My phone is like this. It's like everything's off, right? I have my favorites, right? My wife can call me. My mommy can call me. Mom, if you're watching, you're one of my favorites on my phone. So nobody else can call me because that's how I can get shit done, right? My team has a hard time reaching me, but that's because I focus on the content that I produce, on thinking, on reading, on stuff like this, because I made it a priority for myself. And this is me talking a lot about your question that you had. I think it was Seema's question, right? So I I think it's normal nowadays that you wear different hats, especially if you're in the industry you're in, right? And it's good that you have multiple streams of income, right? Um, but maybe try to do one thing at one day, the other thing at the other day, or at least like half days, right? Um, and focus on one thing at a time. What I recommend is to have a magic Monday, right? So the first day in the week, you prioritize whatever you believe will be most important for you in 5 years from now, right? For me, right now, the most important thing for me is to build what we're starting with this masterclass here, right? I've spent 20 years in education and 20 years in business, but I was not very good in combining that. So this is now my time to combine that and build something where I can help you guys, right? And I will show you. I'll build $1 million company out of this in the first my own challenge, right? That's my promise to you. By helping you do the same. So I prioritize that. With that come a lot of issues. For example, I've neglected my agency, so I've lost clients because of that. I definitely have not onboarded new clients, right? Because I go all in into this because I want to deliver value to you guys, right? And to stop here, I think that's normal. So to summarize, ideally do it exactly as Jan said. If you're incapable of doing that, maybe try this approach of having like silos, right? Cut off time where you focus on one thing and you start the week with what you believe will be the most important 5 years. Not the urgent stuff, not what is important right now, but what is important in 5 years. Because otherwise, in 5 years, you'll regret it. It's year after year that just passes. And you have time to catch up on everything else the rest of the week, right? People will keep bugging you, right? They will keep emailing you. You will not forget, right? Also, you have those Trello lists that you can take care of from Tuesday onwards, or in my case, from Sunday night onwards. Okay. So sorry.
And also they will wait for you. They will wait for your response. So it's okay. You just wait, shut down notifications, shut down your mobile phone or whatever, and that's a good point to do one thing, and maybe you can do another thing is to use the batch work, which is that you work on content creating one day, another day on email automation, another day on landing pages creating. So do batch work so you don't have to change up from one type of work to another type of work.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's a very good way of doing it. I'm just seeing another question. I'm not sure who it is from. If this is your question, we can only unfortunately see your name if you activate that Restream plugin. You will find the link somewhere in the Facebook group thread. But obviously, we're still going to answer it because it fits very well too. It says, "Hey Jan, I'm freelance now. I will have my first trainee to help me in 1 month. What would you delegate as number one priority if you had only one team member to help you building a course?"
That's a good question, and I would say the virtual assistant. I would say virtual assistant. The very first one that will help you the most. because you have a lot of things to do, a lot of creatives to do, a lot of stuff to do, administration or whatever you do. It's a lot of things that profile can cover, and you can forget about that and focus on creating content, focus on whatever marketing things are.
So a virtual assistant, right? Um, I think that's good. But even if you have like an assistant that sits with you, right? It's still the same task. If I understand you correctly, Jan, it's like whatever somebody else can take care of and is like smaller, more approachable tasks that don't need you to handle, right? So for me, I'll give you an example, right? Or maybe Jan, you have a couple examples. What would be like typical tasks to give to a virtual assistant?
For example, a typical example, it's the creatives, or okay, your slide, the presentation slide of your online course. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do so. You just create the content, and then you give that content to your virtual assistant, and then that virtual assistant creates the slides, the presentation. So you don't have to do that anymore. That's, for example, that's a simple example. That's not your task anymore.
Exactly, yeah. And it's such a big help. So, for example, I have a great team member helping me for these lives here right now, right? Her name is Megan, and she's helping me both replying to your questions and also for making sure that different things work. She will help me afterwards in cutting this video, creating stories from it, right? Posting the stories. I could never do all of that, right? And she is not sitting here with me, right? She's sitting at the other end of the world, right? We have different time zones, right? And everything. And she's saying hello. Hello. She's posting from the 1 million per year channel, right? So I think that's cool, by the way. Full transparency here, right? This is what you need. This is the power of life, right? This is really traction. I'm sorry that you guys cannot be in the call actually with us. We will have that within the mentorship and membership program that we start tomorrow, right? So this is then going to be Zoom calls where we can actually talk. For this here, unfortunately, it's only a Facebook Live, so I talk a lot and try to read your stuff at the same time. But that's a power of a virtual assistant, right? And you can find absolutely great people who are sitting wherever in the world. Just find somebody who connects with you. But the question was, you already have somebody joining you, right? So that part is out of the equation. The question was what tasks to give to that person. And I would say just look at your schedule, look at your task list, ideally structured in Trello and well organized. And there is a good way of doing this. You define A, B, and maybe C tasks, right? You prioritize them. That's one way of doing that, right? I try to only do A tasks, right? The very, very most important tasks, right? Sometimes I have to do B tasks that are not as important or urgent, but I still got to handle them, right? I don't do C tasks, right? Until it become an A priority, right? Like when I don't pay my taxes, they will become an A priority, right? Very simple. D's for delegation. And if you believe it or not, 90%, well, maybe 80% of tasks can be handled by somebody else. And the crazy thing is that most of the time, somebody else will do them better than you. You don't see the CEO of a big company handling all the tasks. And if she or he would, nothing would work,
No,
right?
you're on operational tasks. So you cannot focus on the great things that will bring you great revenue.
Exactly. So in course creation, some concrete tasks. So depends very much on what stage you're in, right? Maybe you can post where you're at right now. If you have a course, if you're like just starting at the very beginning and just putting it together. But stuff like setting up the course platform, Hotmart, Kajabi, whatever you use, LearnDash, right? Mighty Networks, whatever you use, put that into place, right? Then obviously your socials, right? If you trust a person, hand your socials, your logins over that person, help you comment, help you share, right? If it doesn't have to be you in front of the camera or your thoughts, which is very important that you do that, right? But if it's not that, then somebody else can help you with that, right? I had for a long time, I had somebody helping with my LinkedIn, right? Again, full transparency. I'll share everything with you guys here, and especially then also from tomorrow onwards in the mastermind, right? Sorry, in the membership, right? But I had a ghostwriter for LinkedIn for about 2 years, and almost everything that you see on LinkedIn from me, right, was not written by me. It's crazy. It was a virtual assistant, right? A very talented woman who unfortunately left me because I think she learned so much working with me that she started her own business. But I'm super happy for her. But I
We
lost my
have to deal
ghostwriter.
with that.
No, it's fantastic. It's good. Now I have to write for myself. But yeah. Okay, I'm talking too much again. So let's take another question. How about this one? Yeah. The question is, how long does it take you to kickstart the course creation? I'm not 100% sure what she means. Maybe you do.
It takes 1 minute. Start right now. Just 1 minute. Do you have some knowledge? Just start your course right now.
So how would you start it? Let's do that. That's a nice exercise. So pick whatever subject. Don't pick Facebook ads. Let's do something very different. Let's say you want to teach people how to do such awesome mugs like the one that I have here, or choose whatever example you want. How would you get started? You have some expertise, and you want to get started within the next minute. What do you do?
Yeah, I would say that you will have to have an expertise, some kind of expertise, and then if you want to bring a lot of more value, you just co-create your course. So I would start with my avatar. As I said, I would define my avatar, then I will define all the responsibilities inside of creating that course, and then I will go to create the course, the table of content, define the modules, the lessons, the videos that's inside of the different lessons, and then divide it by the people that can take care of that. Okay, as I said, maybe someone that can take care of this module, maybe another one can take care of this module, so you don't have to create all your course, the whole of your course. You just co-create that, and you can focus on run your business and not on creating all the course.
So when it comes to running the business, then, and coming back to the king of your empire, right? What's the first thing to do? Assuming you have a company, some legal framework, whatever, right?
The first thing to do is to think like, as we are a big company. Don't wait too much to think like a big company. Just think like you are a big company since the very, very, very beginning. So you can define each and every part of a business since the start, since the beginning. So you define each and every procedure that is going through your business. Okay, you define the different areas of your business. Even if you're taking care of that, even if you're in charge of that, even if you're on the operational tasks, but define each and every area, how to do each and everything, so you can delegate then to one person like a virtual assistant, and then you just say, okay, this thing is made like this in my business. Okay, it's simple.
I think that's great. Let me jump in here. So one thing that I've done for like 10 years or so now, and I think that might help you, is that I try to do stuff myself when I do it the first time, because I have realized that if I try to delegate something that I don't know how in general it should function, I it's not going to work, right? Even if I get an expert in, because if I don't understand it, the expert could be the best job, but I cannot link it to other parts of my business, right?
That's
And
the point.
it's something that Steve, I think, asked here as well, right? He says, is it necessary to have the experience of building a funnel yourself before delegating the funnel work? I think you have to understand how a funnel works, like what it is, how it works, the different parts, how they fit together, but you would not have to be the one who connects the tools to each other. You would not have to be the one who writes the copy. But in my opinion, you have to be the person who understands the avatar behind the copy, the way that you would like to have things communicated, right? So in simple terms, to keep it simple, and that's one of the key things that Jan wants to teach you today, keep things simple. And I think as a principle, first do it yourself until you believe you understand it well enough to tell somebody else how to do it. The same with like running ads, right? So I've run an agency. I've run like millions of euros of budget per year for other people. And before I give somebody to an agency, I know how an agency works. Before I give my stuff to another agency, I want to understand the stuff myself, right? I work with the agency because I want to make sure that there's a fit with how I would like to have stuff done. And so for there's two kinds of things: stuff that you pretty much only have to do once or not that often, and stuff that has to be done very frequently. The funnel work is stuff that you have to do every once in a while, and you want to improve and you want to split test, but it's not like you build a new funnel every day, right? For that, I actually think it's better if you just understand how it's done and do it yourself, because it's faster, right? For stuff that is very repetitive, well, not repetitive, but it follows the same process. Let's put it this way, right? It could be very cool creative work, uh, like social media work, right? I think that's awesome work, right? But it follows a standardizable process. I would do that myself. I would video capture it, right? Unless somebody really knows how to do it, video capture it, and then just hand it over to that person. And if you have somebody who you trust, coming back to a previous point, both on a values level and also an expertise level, what I would always recommend is give that thing to that person, right? And then just walk away. I'm still here, right? But I think that's the best way of handling it.
You have to know the overall strategy, so you know what to ask the people to do. You know what the goals that you need to set up, and then just let them work, as you said. At least know the strategies, how the strategy of how to make a funnel, how to run a funnel, how to do the strategy, how to place a strategy, the strategy for the landing pages, the advertising, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very true. That's the essence. Okay, let's move on to another question. Jan, this one for you. What are your top 3 tools as an online creator?
Google Drive. I would say Google Drive for the information. I would say for coordinated or team management, I would say Trello or Asana, maybe Notion you can use. We've been talking about Notion these days. And for placing the course, for hosting the course, I would say Hotmart or Kajabi. I would recommend Hotmart or Kajabi.
Perfect. If
these are the tools that make your life simple, as you can. These are the tools that can make your life simple, as you said. As a core creator,
100%. Like I have all my stuff, almost all my stuff on Google Drive nowadays, right? I think it's like $10 a month or something like this. It's very cheap, right?
Nothing. Super cheap.
And it's like you have your stuff always with you. And then it's a lot of personal preference, I guess. But don't have too many tools. I think that's important as well, right? Same as for social media, right? I'm thinking right now, again, full transparency. I'm thinking right now for 1 million per year, how I do it, like how many social channels I want to be on, right? And obviously TikTok is like the big thing now, right? Because it's the only thing that really gives you organic reach nowadays. So I have to be on TikTok. But yeah, I'm still a Facebook generation. I feel old, but yeah, I'm kind of I feel at home. I feel at home on Facebook, but it's only ads, right? And groups are cool, but so yeah, make a decision. I have to as well. Okay, here's another question. Question for you, Jan, from Tolulop. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Coming from LinkedIn. Oh, that's fantastic. LinkedIn streaming, pretty awesome, actually. So for someone who's already developing a startup in the renewable energy sector, pretty cool industry to be in, by the way. How would you recommend incorporating content gained from this masterclass in such a situation? I think if you don't mind, let's put this one level up. So we have a situation here where somebody is maybe not your typical course creator who wants to build a business by selling their expertise and having this as main income source. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. It feels like it is not, but that Tolulop is still trying to make use of this courses opportunity. How would you go forward in this case?
Yeah, you can start creating content. You can start bringing that knowledge that you have to some content blog or video blog or whatever, and then you can build the course bit by bit with that content that you're creating. That you have a lot of knowledge. I think that you have a lot of knowledge on the renewable energy sector, and you can bring that knowledge to a course. Of course you can bring that knowledge. You have a team, of course, that you have a team nowadays. I think so. So you can use that team to help you create that course. You can help another renewable energy sector enterprises to rise their business, to run their business, to be more profitable.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the way that I would frame that, the way that I would think about it is whether your company or yourself could benefit from being a thought leader in your space. And that's a term that I believe is very useful here. If you become a course creator, if you are providing educational content, you automatically become a thought leader unless you only reproduce other people's content. But let's say that you have enough expertise to build on foundational knowledge and give your own perspective on that knowledge. Once you start sharing your own perspective, and Jan and I are
Your
sharing our
experience.
perspective, nothing that we're saying is the truth. There is no truth. It's all constructed, but that's a part for a philosophy masterclass. So, anyways, at least in my belief system, everything is a constructed reality. And if you sharing your perspective, you sharing your reality, your thoughts, and people who are interested in that will perceive you as a thought leader. So a course is perfect if you want to position yourself as as a thought leader, right? And differentiate yourself and your startup, your company, from other businesses. So now maybe you don't have to put up a course, right? But you definitely should invest in content and getting your voice heard, your perspective on your field of expertise, your industry. A course is just the best way to monetize it, right? If you don't want to monetize it that way, that's fine. You can do everything else, but not sell it as a course. That's cool.
Yeah, you can
Awesome,
create
right?
content. You can create content and bring some lead manage to bring some clients to your business or your company. You don't have to do that course, but maybe you create that content on your blog or video blog or whatever, and then you put some lead magnets to bring some leads to your business, and then those leads will become clients one day.
Exactly, and that, I mean, that's another great way of applying almost everything that we're covering here over these 3 days. But your business model is a different one, right? You should still engage in getting your content out, right? Everything about the way that you structure your business and so forth that Jan shared today is still the same, but you don't have to invite people to purchase your course. You could invite them to come to an event with you, for example, right? Where you share more about how you work in your industry, right? And nowadays with like online stuff, that's even a lot easier, right? So you could do a masterclass like this here and use it to, well, give your perspective and increase the knowledge about a certain aspect in your field. And obviously, sustainable energy is something super important, and I'm sure a lot of people are interested in. Right? I worked in sustainability for a long time, and this is a hot subject. Right? It's a great industry to be in, and there's a lot of people who want to be educated further in that regard. So you can definitely run an education business, but maybe you don't have to sell a course. You can. That would be my perspective. All right. So, Jan, what do you think? First of all, I would love to know how you like the session so far, and want to make sure that you get value out of this. If you feel that your question is not answered, something that you want to know, then obviously just put it in the comments and we'll reserve a minute or two to dive into your question. But I think we also have to provide some homework, right?
Yeah.
Should we do that, Jan?
We have a smart homework.
Very well put. Very well put. Okay, so I want to share something very briefly, and then I hand over to Jan for your homework. And what I want to share is this here. It's just a post that I did on LinkedIn, right? Well, let me correct that. That my team member put on LinkedIn for me a while ago, actually 6 months ago, right? And it has everything to do with your homework because it's about goals, right? And what we talked about here is your dream, potentially your dream of creating $1 million a year of business by sharing your experience, your knowledge, and selling it as a course, right? So how do you get there? I think we share a lot of strategies, principles, tactics within those 3 days. And I think that's great, but maybe it feels like it's too big. So let me share how it's done, right? And for the actual exercise, again, Jan is much better qualified than me. But this is how I think about it. If this is your, right, it's kind of like a big blue ocean in a way, right? But once you split it up, right, it becomes more manageable, or it feels more manageable. So you turn the dream into goals, and that's what we're going to do today, right? But it's still very big. So what you want to do is you want to split it into steps, right? And all of a sudden, instead of like one big, hairy, audacious goal, right, or that dream of yours, it becomes much more easy to actually handle. So that's like 5 times 5, 25 pieces now. And this is how you can do it, because then you can take the very first step. So what I would love for you today is to take a first step, right? And that first step obviously is your homework. Well, actually, you did the first step, being here with us today. The next step will be the homework and defining your goal and breaking it down. Jan, let me hand over to you so you can actually present what you have put together as an exercise for people to get them to the next level. Here we go.
Okay, perfect. We're about to define our goals for 2022. Okay, we are almost in February, so we need to hurry up and define our goals for 2022. Now, I hope you know the SMART goals is to be a specific, measurable, attainable, and relevant. So we are going to dive in each in one side of that on those SMART goals. So the first thing I want you to do is to see. Okay, let me see. What do I want to achieve by the end of 2022? Divided in quarters, then divided in quarters: the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Now, split it by month. Okay, January, February, etc., so on. And then just go. And why is this goal so important to me? It must be important for you. It must cover your passions. It must cover your purpose in life. Okay, and let's see. This next one is, what resources do I need to achieve this goal? We've seen those areas, responsibilities. Let's define it on this one. And then let's go to the measurable. How much is the cost of this? Okay, and then how will I know if I succeed? Okay, that goal, that reversal engineering that we saw, that goal of 1 million, then the price of our course, and etc. What we said, the clients that we will need to cover in the first quarter, the clients that we need to cover in the second quarter, and then by month, etc., till you get to the investment that you will need to cover. Okay, and then the attainable way. How will I achieve this goal? Okay, just in one sentence. The next one, how realistic is the target based on all the constraints? Like one guy said, it's maybe I don't have enough time, so I have to leverage on other people's time. Okay, and let's see the next one, the other obstacles that I may have, maybe another company, maybe I cannot do this course for whatever you have. And then the relevant part is, does this seem valuable for me or to me? Is this real valuable to you? Does it mean something for you, or you just want to do a course to earn 1 million in 1 year? That's not the real purpose. The real purpose is maybe is to help some people, to bring happiness to their life, not to bring 1 million to your account, to bank account. And the next one is it a good moment to pursue this goal in your life? Do you have enough time again? Do you have the resources again? Am I the right person to achieve this goal? Do you have the knowledge to create this course? And last but not least, is it applicable in today's economic environment? Okay, is this is focused on the avatar? Is this gonna help anybody or not? The answer should be yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's great. I love how you framed this. So we will obviously put this two-side PDF or JPEG, whatever it is, inside the Facebook group again, and just really encourage you to fill that out and use this traction that you have right now. Right. So I'm not sure if you saw my Ikigai, or however you pronounce it, from the very first day, but what I put there is at the foundation, of course, like you hopefully did as well if you did your homework. What do I get paid for, right? And one thing that I get paid for is inspiration. I get invited to speak on stage in front of camera because of my ridiculous amount of energy. That's one of my biggest assets, right? I sleep 4 hours a day and I have a lot of energy. My wife says I'm nuts, but I don't know. I don't take any drugs or nothing. Maybe it's just too much coffee. But why am I telling you? Because I want to inspire you to do that, right? People choose to pay me a lot of money to inspire them. You don't pay me nothing, and I don't want you to pay me anything, but please be inspired. Please take this and do it, okay? And post it in the Facebook group. If that's the only thing that you gain from this masterclass, then please print out or save digitally those pieces of homework, right? And use them to get to the next stage. This is what I really wish for you. The reason why we do this here, the reason why Jan is on this call, and Ezra said it yesterday, like Ezra, Patrick, Jan don't get paid for doing this, right? I don't get paid for doing this. We're doing this because we have seen how much we can help people like you, and because we want to create an impact, right? I don't know if you know what we do with the FAM Fund, but we even have a fund supporting people to create impact, right? And so please create that impact. Please help us create that impact through you. Make this world a better place by teaching people what you know, right? Share your experience. I actually think it's your obligation to do that. Jan already did that today. And so I'm just very grateful, Jan, for you being here. Thank you so much. If you guys want more of Jan, if you want more of me, but most importantly, all the other mentors who we have in the program, I wholeheartedly invite you to tomorrow's session. We have a special session. And as a little spoiler, we have a couple more sessions with more fantastic speakers. On Monday, we already have booked Jacob Moran. On Tuesday, we have a leader from Hotmart. They're going to share how course creators are successful nowadays. And I want you to participate in that as well if you are interested in this opportunity. So you can already book your calendars for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if you want to. And I would just really love you to be there tomorrow, Saturday. I know, see if it's possible with family and everything. We're launching the 1 million a year program. I'm inviting you to be part of the program. The fund that my wife and I have set up will cover 80% of the cost for you to participate. We will most likely only do this for the first cohort, and we want it to be a small cohort because we personally want to give you the attention to create success stories out of you. And I think this will hugely benefit you, and it will be good for the community and what we're growing here as well. I'm in this for the long game and would just love to have you here. Jan, again, thank you so much for joining us here. Everybody who was here until the bitter end, thank you so much. And please Join us tomorrow again at 4 p.m. Central European Time, 10 a.m. Eastern, if you would like to learn more about the 1 million a year mentorship program with 52 awesome mentors, just like Jan, Ezra, and Patrick. Jan, I'll leave it to you to say goodbye.
Let's keep it on. And as Seamus Reynolds said, how to eat an elephant, one bit at a time. Okay, so start today and one bit at a time. One bite at a time, sorry.
One bite at a time. That's true. That's how you make progress. Thank you so much for being here for this step, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you, Jan. Thank you for everybody who was
Thank
with us
you.
on this live. Goodbye.